soul is lonely, sad and blue. Ain't got no loving shoulders to lean on. There's always a sunny side across the river. Take a ride, take a swim, and all your worries.
Good morning from Jay and Hillary's again. Beautiful sunrise this morning. About to get me a cup of coffee and a couple eggs in my belly.
You'll be alright from sunny side. When you're feeling lost in the city lights, ain't got nowhere to turn your winding wheels, there's always the sunny side across the river. Take a ride, take a swim, my friend, and paddle your guitar across the river. You'll be fine. Go counting winners right down the line. You'll be alright from sunny side.
Almost forgot the pepper. Like jelly, not liquid, not solid, right in between. And really, depending on what I have to dip in it is how liquid and solid I want to go with the yolk. Yesterday was great. Got some really good rest and relaxation. Got to hang out with everybody. Avery and Mitch came through like later on. We had dinner together. It was good company, good times. So I'm gonna get some more resting and relaxing in today, but I also want to talk about some backpacking gear. Specifically, I want to talk about the new Hyperlite Mountain Gear Waypoint 35 pack I've been using since I was southbound at Shaw's. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the new Hyperlite Mountain Gear Waypoint 35 backpack. Everything I like about it, everything I don't like about it, the customizations I've made to this pack, and everything I would tell Hyperlite Mountain Gear if I had the chance to talk to them about this pack. All right, let's get into it. The first thing that sold me on this pack is these extra wide shoulder straps. And I still really like them, to be honest. This many miles in, I feel like it doesn't matter how wide the shoulder straps are. Once you're wearing them all day, your shoulders are gonna get a little sore. Still like them though, and this is something I would look for in a future pack. I really appreciate these pouches right here on the shoulder pockets, even though I cover this one up with my phone pouch. It's really nice. I can throw extra stuff back here if I need to behind the pouch. Just a really nice addition to the shoulder straps. I really like the space you have in these hip belt pockets. Really big and spacious. But with the hip belt pockets and these side pockets, I really wish they were either the traditional, grid material that Hyperlite's been using, or if they could just use Dyneema for the side pouches and the hip belt pockets. I feel like that would be the best option. So yeah, Moving around, we got this really big pocket back here, super stretchy. This stuff's supposed to be like stretchable Dyneema something. I'm not exactly sure what the name is. You can get a lot more in there than you would think. The pack's not all that different from a regular Hyperlite, you know, Southwest or Junction 2400. This is just going to be a few liters smaller. I feel like the top part does open a little bit wider than the traditional Hyperlites. It makes it easier to stuff stuff down in there. You don't have a mesh pocket for a water bladder in this one, which is fine with me. So when I first got the pack, like I said, the shoulder straps really attracted me to it, but also just the idea of having less room. I figured I would carry less stuff, and as I've said before on the channel, I think it's spiritually rewarding to see that you can get by and be happy with less stuff. Now, having used this pack for a while, I can see more benefits than that, right? When the pack itself is much smaller like this one as compared to a 40-liter Hyperlite, not just shorter, but also slimmer this way, it's doing a way better job of keeping the load right next to your spine, where your body's gonna best be able to carry a load. And this matters most whenever you're trying to be quick, you know, maybe you have a deadline or you need to get to town for food. Maybe like me, you're doing a little bit of trail running because you spent too much time playing with the camera today. Either way, whenever you really start to pick up the pace, that's when you notice how efficient it is to have a smaller pack that's keeping your heavier items right next against your spine in the perfect spot. So about halfway through the 100-mile wilderness southbound, my old Hyperlite Mountain Gear pack, the 40-liter Windrider, I think, failed on me. This is where. Right here where the hip belt attached to the pack started to rip pretty bad, and a girl sewed it up for me, which, you know, got me through the 100-mile wilderness. I'm super grateful for that. If you're watching, big thanks. But that was ultimately why I decided to go ahead and buy this pack. And yeah, this hip belt is removable, which is something I really like about this pack. I haven't removed the hip belts and used it like that yet, but on smaller sections, I really look forward to checking that out. So when I got to Shaw's and decided to buy this pack, I needed to come up with a new way to carry my camp shoes. On the older Hyperlite pack I was using, I had picked up some straps from a hiker box and ran them across this way to tighten up my camp shoes right here. And this pack just didn't have the same attach points as the older pack did to get those big, wide, heavy straps on there. So I asked Poet if he had any ideas for me or anything I could use to fasten my camp shoes to the outside of my pack where they would, you know, securely stay. And he offered this shock cord right here. I just ran through these little small loops in an X, and I put this beaner right here so that I can run it through the little strings I have hanging off of my camp shoes to make sure they don't fall off when I rub up against a tree or bust my ass. Now there is one more customization I'd like to touch on. If you're gonna be a serious ultralight hiker, you have to get you some feathers immediately. It will actually make your pack lighter. Don't argue, just do it. Alright, so if I had the opportunity to personally talk to the Hyperlite Mountain Gear team that designed this pack or that's in charge of designing future packs, there's two main things I would talk about. Number one, the side pockets and the hip belt pockets. Why can't you just make this in the same Dyneema as you make the pack? Would that increase the price? It's already pretty damn expensive. It would definitely increase the durability, I know that. So another thing I'd like to see is the bottom pocket right here. They incorporate that into their new Unbound series, and kind of has me scratching my head as to why they wouldn't put that here. It seems like a really advantageous pocket compartment to have in your backpack kit. I've yet to use a backpack with one, but when I see people using it, it seems like a really logical spot for a pocket. That's all I got for the Hyperlite Waypoint 35 today.